Okay, this is equalizers. Exactly what we're going to look at in this section. We're looking at anything that we can use as a makeshift weapon to defend ourselves. So there will be times where you'll feel a necessity to pick something up and use it. Or it may be something on your person that you carry every day that in emergency can be used to defend yourself. Now, a couple of things we need to remember first of all about this. A makeshift weapon is exactly what it says it is. It's not designed to be a weapon. So it's not going to particularly last the course of time. You might use it once and it will break. It might buckle, it might bend. But that one time may just be enough for you to finish what you've started. So the makeshift weapon will combine with the unarmed techniques that we've learned so far. They're not to the exclusion of using everything that we've done. It will just enhance what you've got. Maybe at that moment in time you have that particular item in your hand, whether it be a mobile phone, whether it be a coffee mug, whether it be a newspaper. You may have it there and you will instantly use it from instinct. Now, if you can use it also with a little bit of skill and direction, it's going to have much more force when you apply these. So we're going to look at a variety of equalizers. Obviously the list is not exhausted. Anything at all you can think of, you can pick up, you'll be able to use. But these are the type of things that you may have on your person or may be at hand. Alright, we're starting with everyday magazine or newspaper. The sort of thing you may have in your hand if you're just walking back from the news agent with it. Okay, or you may be carrying it on your person. Here's a few examples of how to effectively use this. The first one we're going to look at, I'm stood here casually, I'm looking at the magazine and newspaper, reading it, and this guy is going to try and cause trouble or mug me.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, mate.
Come on.
What's the problem?
What are you looking at?
Yeah, all right, just relax. Okay?
No,
Don't want trouble.
okay.
Just relax. Okay? Don't want to... All right, let's look what happened there. From this position where I'm being cornered down and the magazine is open, I'm using it to distract him. I'm going to flail the magazine into the face, which momentarily blinds him, takes his sight away. This opens me up then for the strikes that I need to finish the situation and get away. Now, as I mentioned a moment ago, we're using this to enhance the skills we've already got, rather than relying on it solely. So the magazine whipped into the face will momentarily blind him, distract him, allowing me to get through into the targets that we've been working on previously, and then make our escape. By this time I have the magazine and newspaper rolled up. So if you like, it's already prepared as a potential makeshift weapon if I need it. And if this is rolled tightly enough, even a standard newspaper becomes quite a hard and rigid weapon to work with. And if I just hit this into the mat, you feel it's reasonably solid, it's not going to bend or break, enough for you to get a couple of good shots in here. And once more we'll play a scenario and look at it, and then we'll slow it down and talk a little bit more about it.
Hey, what happened?
What, sorry?
Hey, what happened?
Okay, let's look at this a little bit more slowly. As the man actually grabs hold of me, that initiates my attack. I'm going to drive this into the solar plexus, that weak spot below the sternum, the breastbone that we spoke about. Again, I'm chaining these strikes. I'm not going to rely on 1, 2, 3, 4 until I get to a position where now I can bring the other end down onto the temple or the base of the skull. If I put this down for a moment, this is no more than us hitting with the fist and using the hammer fist strikes that we've been practicing. All I've done now is replace this with the magazine. He grabs, I drive, these coming upwards and in to the point where I feel I can drop the hammer fist strikes down to the edge of the skull or the temple. Alright, here's another scenario and another tactic.
What are you looking at, mate?
Sorry?
So what are you fucking looking at?
Okay, just relax, I've got no problem with you.
Yeah, well, I think you are.
Honest, man.
Oh,
Peace! Alright, look at what happened there. This time I'm carrying the weapon low. I'm not brandishing it in any shape or form to make him realise I've got it. As I feel I'm in danger, I flick the end of the magazine or weapon into the testicles. That's all it needs to be. This is powerful enough to send his head forward. As soon as his head comes forward, I'm looking to pull it down and to strike the base of the skull with the end of the magazine. Now if I drop the magazine, this technique again is no more than me hitting the groin with the back of the hand, pulling him over and chaining those hammer fists or elbows as we've previously done. Once more, the magazine replaces it. From here, keep it low lying. He doesn't see this as a threat until it comes forward and in. That's enough to bring him forward and then down into those finishing shots and moving away. Alright, again, another method, working around the same types of strikes that we've used previously.
What are you looking at?
Nothing, mate.
Come on, then. Just right here. Come on.
Hey! Yes! Alright, this time as the man grabs and initiates the attack, I clamp the back of the head and I drive the end of the magazine into the throat. Once again, I've chained these repeatedly and then turn and come in from the side to hit the temple with that butt end of the magazine. If we look at this, without the makeshift weapon, we're into the web hands that we practiced and we're into the hammer fist that we practiced to the temple. All I've done now is replace it with the magazine. There we go, straight into the throat, just like the web hand, then around the corner and striking into the temple. We look at that one more time at speed.
What are you looking at?
No, honestly, no.
Come on, then. You want to get it, yeah?
No.
You want to get it?
Alright, moving on. Again to an article that you may have at hand. In this day and age, most people will carry a mobile phone. This is can be used as a makeshift weapon in emergency. Now, for training purposes, we're just practicing with one that's made out of foam rubber so that we can hit with impact. But obviously, bear in mind, if this is a real phone, it's going to carry quite a wallop in it. So if you've got no other choice, then we can retaliate by using the phone as a weapon. We'll have a look at a common scenario.
Give me that fucking phone now!
What?
I've fucking got a knife! Give it to me now!
What, you want this?
Yeah, I want that!
Okay, have a look at what's happened here. The first thing you notice is my awareness is taken away by being involved in texting on the phone. Now, most opportunist thieves will look for this. So if I'm not switched on, suddenly this guy in front of me, giving me masses of aggression and threatening to use a weapon on me, will trigger this freeze instinct that we spoke about. And your heart rate's probably going to go from 60 or 70 beats to, boom, 200 in a blink of an eye. This is where you'll get this freeze syndrome and the tunnel vision that we spoke about. So the key is obviously not to be caught by surprise, to try and stay switched on. But if you do, try and start using dialogue. This helps you bring your heart rate down and gives you a chance to begin to take everything in. So, as the guy confronts me and gives me the question,
give me the fucking phone now!
Okay, just relax, alright? You can have it. At this point, I haven't done anything. Maybe I might be thinking of giving him that phone. But now he's upped it by saying that,
got a fucking knife, come on!
Okay, at this point now, I know that I'm going to make my defence. So see, first of all, how I led his brain by saying, do you want this? Because it's a question, and it's a suggestion, and although he's not going to answer it and say, yes please, I'll have it, in his brain the question's there, and he's going to think about it momentarily, because it's something that it's weird to say. Yeah, you can have it then. As soon as I've done this, I've drove forward into the throat, multiple strikes, and then back to striking the temple in this chain. of continual gross motor skills, working on those big man-stopping moves. So again, without this, it's no more than the web hand and the hammer fist. We're just reinforcing it now. So again, once I make my move, I'm driving through, continual, lots of aggression, lots of forward movement and commitment until the man is down and out. So we look at this again, it's speed.
Give me that phone now! Give me that phone now! Go on, knife, come on!
Okay, do you want this?
Yes!
Yes! Alright, just another set of techniques against the same type of scenario.
Give me your money now! Get some money! Give me
money on me.
Give me that phone then!
No.
Give me that phone now!
Just relax.
Stop! This!
Alright, this time I've changed the areas that I'm striking. I've started off because the phone's down low, got it in my hand, or you may even be asked if you've got a phone on you and you say, yeah, look, it's in my pocket. As I take this out, it's going to drive straight forward to the nearest target. Remember, I mentioned constantly, you hit the nearest target with the nearest weapon. And in this case, it's going to be the groin. As I take the phone out, or if I go to hand it, I'll step in, drive this to the groin. Again, I'm going to go 2 or 3 times, chaining it together. As soon as his head comes over, we're looking at the base of the skull for those finishing shots, and then make your escape. Alright, different type of scenario, still the same techniques we're going to chain together. This is a technique from the back, from the rear, if we're surprised. So once again, we're in a situation where I may be texting, and then the guy will come and grab me. From this position, instinctively, I look to bring this up and over my head. We're looking to drive this into the face, particularly if we can hit the eye. Now, a lot of phones may or may not have a small aerial on there. If it does, it's going to find its way in. Strike, and then back into the groin as many times as possible to break away. Then either I make my escape or I come back to using those basic strikes once more to finish. So once again, as he comes over, my initial response is to drive this back. I know somewhere along the line his head's going to be there, and I'm looking to find the target. Then I come back down, smashing down into the groin constantly. Now if his hands are still holding, remember the small bones on the back of his hand are stretched. I'm going to smash the back of the phone through those bones in the hand, which will open him out, allowing me to get out and finish with my other shot. Just look at this at speed. Alright, remember, as I said earlier on, you might get maybe 1 or 2 shots with this. The phone might break. You're never going to know that. The idea is that you use this initially to start your attack. So if after, say, the first opening shot, this is smashed away, so there's nothing left in my hand, only part of the phone, you just keep smashing away with the same technique. Because nothing's changed. You're still doing a hammer fist. You just happen to have that phone in your hand. But if I hit Jake with this phone so hard that I lost it, and it fell out of my hand, I'm just going to carry on the same movement, same gross motor skill. The only difference is I've no longer got the phone. So remember, any makeshift weapon is there as an opener for you. It's that little window of opportunity that starts the move off. Maybe I hit him and bang, I drop the phone and it's gone. Now, if all my confidence is based on the fact that I can hit somebody with this phone, then after this I'm going to stop, because suddenly I've lost that weapon. But if it's only part and parcel of my skills, then I just carry on with the same unarmed combat techniques that we've been practicing. So remember, the weapon may bend or it may break, but just keep going forward with the same intention and the same skills, and you'll win the day. Right, this next makeshift weapon is a flexible weapon, and it's more of a long-range weapon. So everything so far has been pretty close quarter. we want to keep somebody at bay, particularly if they have a weapon, then this is where a belt will come into play. Obviously, there's a couple of things to consider first of all. First and foremost, if it's a belt that you're actually wearing, you're going to have time to pull that belt out. So if you really want to think of using the belt as a weapon, you should never think of having a belt so thick that when it goes through the loops on your trousers that it's not going to pull out again. The thinner the belt, the more likely that you can pull that straight out rather than finding it's only going to go halfway and this guy's closing down on you. So if you are thinking of using this as a makeshift weapon, you need to have a little bit of forethought on how you're going to wear this, okay? If you've got a large belt buckle, then that's great. You know, that can be used as a heavy sort of clubbing instrument. But for many different groups, particularly say special forces, particularly say South African special forces, they were known to sharpen and file the edges of the belt so it become razor sharp. So not only did it become a type of clubbing instrument, it also became a cutting instrument as well. But obviously, you know, that was theirs and it's not a particularly legal thing to do, but it just goes to show you how people can think about adapting to make a makeshift weapon just a little bit more dangerous. So, the other thing to consider as well, if you are going to take the belt from your trousers, that your trousers don't fall down. Okay, that's probably not the thing to do. Now, the guy might die laughing, which is great. In that case, you can just walk away. But reality tells you you're not going to defend yourself with your trousers around your knees. So, the belt has got to be there for show. It's got to be there for decoration, but not to actually hold the trousers up. So, but seriously, you know, once this belt is into play and you have time, then you can use it. So it's all about preemption. It's seeing a situation that might be going to go and turn to nasty, and you've already made that decision to pull the belt free. Now, for training purposes, I'm not going to use the belt buckle end, obviously, because I don't want to damage it. It's one of my best, but no, only kidding. I don't want to obviously hurt my partner when I'm doing this. So we bring it down. Now, at this stage, this man has pulled a knife. He's holding this on me. I'm going to use this, but I want to hold it in both hands so that it's taut enough to strike that hand. Now, you need to practice this to be accurate with it, but I can take the weapon out, coming over, and then I'm back into my basic skills. So again, I'm using this to set up. What I really want to do is get back to where I feel comfortable hitting with those man-stopping techniques, those basic moves. So from here, I strike the hand continually until I can get rid of the weapon. Then I can close the gap by striking the face, kicking the body, and then I'm just straight back in to these basic hammering techniques on the skull. Again, I can play up and down with this. I might hit the hand and come up to the face, back to the legs, and drive in again, and power down and finish this. So while the guy is flinching from those continual blows, which are going to hurt, I've got him on the back foot, and I'm going to move in and attack it. So every technique is 100% aggression. It's no good standing back and sort of flicking this, because this guy is going to walk straight through you. Plenty of aggression, and ace! Whoosh! I'm moving in for the finish. And you can see I'm not worried about capturing the knife or taking it. I'm literally going to take that clean from him by striking him rather than trying to disarm him. Now things like this, which you know I've seen before, it's down to individuals. Tom coming and thrusting this with a knife and me stopping it and doing. You know, that's a load of bollocks in my opinion. It's just not going to work. You've got a job to do that open-handed. How are we going to get this in here? So this is to use to keep people away rather than try to tie them up with something fancy. Remember, this is a fine motor skill. What happens to fine motor skills under pressure? They go out the window. So when Tom does this and I do that, I think, shit. You know, by then it's too late. Far too complicated. A gross motor skill is telling to somebody, take a belt and hit somebody with it. Just keep flailing at them. Most of the people, somewhere along the line, going back to school days, used it with their school tie, no doubt. Just doing the same thing. Only we're bringing it up a few notches, hitting the hand. Figure 8 in the face, every one of them counting, smashing down through the knees and back through into your basics. Now, if you're getting close and you can use this weapon at close range after I've struck and knocked Tom down, yes, there's no reason why maybe I can't get him round the neck. Yeah. But it's not my opening plan, it was something as his head come up I thought I would do. Then I'm back to gross motor skill. Am I going to choke him out? Possibly. He might try to pull on my hand and stop it. So again, bang, bang, I'm going to use the techniques that we've used previously and take him down to the floor. So if you get inside and feel comfortable enough to attack the head and neck, then that's a possibility. Yeah. But once I've done it, I'm going to come back to the same skills again to finish the technique. So remember, this is only effective at long range. It's no good sort of from here showing a technique, somebody mugging you, and you still with a belt in your hand. Why would you? You know, unless you walk along with a belt in your hand. It's not an acceptable technique. So although it's nice to do these sort of things and wrap them up, reality says you would never be stood with a belt in your hand. It's always going to have to be preemptive where you think, shit, you know, I'm in trouble here. And then move in behind it. So if you want to use the belt or anything flexible as a weapon, that's the way you need to look at it and to use it so it will work for you under pressure. Alright, another everyday item, a mug or a cup. Now again with the mug or cup, the likelihood of this breaking maybe after the first strike is high. But that doesn't matter. We're using it incidentally just to open up what we need to do to defend ourselves. So a lot of times you may find that the mug will actually come away from the handle itself, or the mug may crack and break. All you need to do is keep going forward. But before we look at this as a striking tool, let's look at another strategy, a way that we could use this. If this mug is obviously full of whatever, tea, coffee, etc., if you're in a situation where you need to preempt this, then you're going to start by throwing that contents towards the face. Which any hot liquid towards the face will start that flinch reflex. Now if that's enough for me to escape and get away, then I've used it effectively. Now another trick that a lot of people used to use in the forces was to put maybe 7 or 8 spoonfuls of sugar into that hot tea, so when they threw it, it would literally stick to you. Yeah, and you wouldn't be able to get it off and burn the skin. That's around the eyes, etc. It really can be a lethal thing. So, throwing that contents to the face, as soon as he flinches, I'm smashing down through the lower gates, taking away the extremities, this time the kneecaps. So as soon as he's preoccupied upstairs, then remember the kicks that we used, coming down, smashing down, and getting away. Just do that a little bit more speed. Nice! Alright, moving into closer range. Let's say this guy has grabbed us, he's come in, took me around the neck and hit me here. Straight away, working on the same principles that we've been using all the time, is to smash that straight down the middle. Okay, I've already got it pre-cocked here. Maybe I've had it in my hand. I'm going to drive it smash straight down the middle of the face. Now, if his hand is anywhere here, still in the vicinity, I'm going to use the base end of it to smash down onto the bone. Really painful as I disengage and step away. So you may need one or both of these techniques. I might start off by attacking the arm first and smashing the edge down onto the bone of the wrist. Then I can come back and hit the face in reverse fashion. So if we drop this down a moment, this is no different to me using the knife edge to the arm and the reverse hammer fist to the jaw. Same principle, the edge smashes down onto the bone and we come across reverse fashion to hammer fist. The first one, straight down the middle, is going to be Exactly the same as the palm heel. Same skills, straight down the middle. Then if we want to come across and attack the arm, we can do so. And then you're back into those finishing skills that we've done before. We just look at this one a little bit faster. And disengage. Very difficult for him to stop. So what I'm doing here is instinctively using whatever I've got. This moment in time, if somebody's strangling you, it's no good saying, hang on a minute, mate, I'll put that down a second. Right, now I'm going to go. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So we're going to come in. Now, if he pulls me in, say by my shirt front, I'm right up close here, this is a different move. So, boom, straight up into the groin, the bottom end of the cup. Now again, it's going to have to be a big strike, bang, at the top end, into the groin. Back down and smash in the back of the skull. Now like I said, after that first one, I may lose the cup, but I'm in control and I'm doing the job. So I'm pulled in close, bang, straight into the groin. Then we're back to hammering the skull and making our escape. If we come to the back, remember we looked at this against the mobile phone. Same thing, that can smash up into the face. Even if there's liquid in there, anywhere towards the face will help. But I'm bringing it up and smashing it. I'm going to smash this down onto the back of the hands repeatedly. The edge, not the flat, the edge, cutting in. Then I can start looking for the groin, the knees or the shins. All bony areas in the edge of that mug are really going to hurt as I bring them into those targets. Now you notice that I'm not particularly singling out any one of those moves when I get to it. I'm starting off with the smash of the head and down onto the hands. Once I get to here, whatever's there, groin, knee, shin, head, I'm just going to keep swinging back with that continual movement. So again, down, smash up, down, keep striking until we get away. So regardless of how we're grabbed, if this becomes around my neck here, I'm still going to bring that up, straight back. You're going to hit something there. If I can bring the edge down and drive it into the arc, and drive that edge into it, it's really painful. Going to make him look for the release. Then I'm turning out and following down with the same skills as previous. Can I just move that please, Jake? If you tend to hold the mug in this fashion rather than by the handle, same principle really. If he grabs me, I'm swinging this up from the side. Remember this strike we used right back on the man stopper's disc. Side palm heel. Same thing. Smash straight onto the side, reinforcing the hand, knockout shot straight away. Could be to the jaw or the temple. But because this is a natural movement, I've not had to sort of cop my hand to do this. If somebody grabbed me, I might say, hang on a minute, I'm only having a cup of tea here, smashing this into his face, he's not going to see it. And then I can carry on with my strikes. Alternatively, if I'm pulled in close, this can become pressure point, using off the edge of the cup, driving that up underneath the nose of the philtrum will open him up for more serious strikes. Even this handle end will do the job. If I'm pulled in, driving in to the side of the neck or the mastoid area will open him up and break a hold on me. So if I've been grabbed around the body here, then this driving into it here will open him up and allow me to carry on with my multiple blows and strikes. So once you start looking at an everyday item and you've got the background knowledge of vital points and how to strike them, then it's going to be no different whether you're holding a mug or cup or your open hand. Alright, hopefully by now you're getting the idea of how to adapt these makeshift weapons. Most of them work on the same principle, using the same strikes that we've been doing. Just going to show a couple of other items just of interest, just to go through them briefly, just so you keep them in your mind. So if you happen to have these pieces of equipment on you, you can neutralize them. Alright, first of all, a small torch. Again, quite easy to carry. You can carry it on your person quite legally, or you may have it in your car. This can be used effectively at close range, exactly the same as we looked at with the mobile phone. Now, if you carry the torch to illuminate, then the best way to carry it is always this way. Okay, not carry it underarm. The reason for this is that you can shine that immediately into the person's eyes, which if it's at night, takes away their night vision, which is important. So if I switch that on and momentarily blinded him, you won't see those follow-up strikes with the other end. So again, it's using those principles, which once more, it goes back to military of deception, of trying to catch somebody out unawares and taking advantage. So the same principle can be applied in self-defense. So if I shine this to the eyes and momentarily blind him, I can come down the stairs to those low gates, back up to the throat, into the temples as we previously done, to the same effect. Now, most of these torches are built to last. They're the sort of makeshift weapon that won't break immediately. Some of them are designed to take a lot of resistance and hardware. So it's a really handy tool to have on you. And like I said, it's legal to carry. There's nothing wrong with carrying this, as long as you're using it, obviously, to light your way, rather than using it as an impact tool. But any of the strikes that we practice, down to the collarbones, bridge of the nose, into the jaw, into the temple, all apply exactly the same. You just reinforce your fist with it. Even this reinforcing your fist for striking can protect the hand, which again is important if you don't want to damage the hand. The strikes anywhere here will carry weight. Okay, so handy tool and can be used effectively in lots and lots of different situations. About something that can be used momentarily to distract. This may be your wallet. We've been doing a lot of scenarios where you're asked for your wallet. Here's just a couple of examples of using it to effect. So if Tom asked for this...
Come on, get your wallet out.
Okay, mate, look in my pocket.
Let's get it, let's see it, let's see
Here
it.
it is, look, I'm sorry. Okay. In this case, what I'd done was drop it, but I dropped it on purpose. If this guy wants this, what's he going to do when I drop it? He's going to look, because it's what he wants. He can't help but look. So when my hands are shaking, which they may well be, and I drop it, momentarily he looks. That allows me that window of opportunity to come through and make the attacks that I'm looking for. Again, if the wallet's produced...
Come on, let's see your wallet, let's go.
It's here, alright? I'm using it this time to hit him with directly. Here, as it comes free, I've played it to his face. Bang in and follow through once more with the same skills. So the wallet can be used as a distraction. And also, we may be able to use it to protect yourself and grab. But again, this requires a little bit of training. If this knife is stuck to my neck and he's asked for my wallet, and this wallet's up, look, here it is, mate. This will clamp onto the blade and protect your hand. I can kick and pull the knife free by using the wallet to protect my hands. This requires a little bit more training, but if I can see the blade, it can drop on top. And if that's enough to stop him from sticking that in you and protect your hands, then you can follow straight up again with the same skills we've been using. And inside the wallet, a credit card. This can be used as a particularly a good weapon again, if you know what to do. Let's take a common scenario where you might be using that in an ATM machine and this guy comes up behind you and he's looking to mug you.
Come on, give me your money now, give me your money.
I ain't got this,
Come on, just hurry up.
Let's just this card.
Give me the card.
In this case, I'm using the sharp edge of the credit card. As I've spun around, I'm using it to cut and work that to the face as I come in and back it up with my strikes. Even from the front, if this card is produced, it can be driven straight through into those vital points, those man-stopping targets, attacking the air, the windpipe, up underneath the nose, through to the eye or the temple or the neck, using the corner And this can be a powerful weapon. Again, it might break or buckle or bend on the first one, but that first one may be enough for you to follow through and finish the job. So this can really, in circumstances, become your flexible friend, yeah? All right, let's look at the last thing. This is using an item of clothing. We looked at a belt, maybe the hat, okay? Again, if he produces a knife, okay, well, what does he want?
Come on, get what out now.
Just relax. Oh, ash! Again, using it, same distraction tool. We've done it with the wallet, we've done it with the newspaper. This is off the front of the peak of the hat, straight into the face, and driving through, chaining that barrage of strikes together behind it. So it's buying you a moment, a window of opportunity to make that move. And you need to be able to do this. If he's holding this up, I may drop that down to hit his hand down, bang, and then follow through again with the same strikes. See this action? If I slow this down, it's using this in a whipping action. I'm going to try and use the edge to take away the weapon, then drive it through and follow on through for the finish. If some of you wear the cap the other way round, then again, this can hit down and strike by using the peak edge of the cap, and that's a lot more solid. So any time you pull the hat from the front, using the loop, then that will strike down onto the back of the hand, smash the face, and drive on through to make your finish. So you can see the list is endless, the possibilities are endless. It's really only your own imagination that will stop you from using these weapons. But think about them. Think about what you wear, what you've got on you. And if you think of using them potentially as an equalizer, then know how to use them and practice with them. Okay, behind every physical technique that you need to use, you'll also have to deal with what we term as the fear factor. This sometimes isn't addressed too much, particularly in the world of martial arts, because most of us like to feel that we're not going to feel fear, that the techniques that we're learning are so great that our fear will be diminished and we'll be able to face any situation confidently. The reality is that this is not what's going to happen. You are going to have to deal with the fear factor and the effects it has on the body and also the mind. Now, the more we understand about this, we begin to realise that all of us will have the same feelings. It's not just you that might be sitting there saying, well, the last situation I was in when somebody verbally shouted at me or abused me, I felt sick, my knees began to knock, my mouth went dry, and I felt like running away. These are natural instincts. This is fight or flight instincts that go right back to the beginning of time. So when a prehistoric man was running away from larger animals, it was because he knew he couldn't stand there and fight them. So we have still got these instincts within our body. But in modern society, not very often do we use them because society is soft. We don't challenge ourselves too often in our daily lives. We don't expose ourselves to that adrenal rush. So people that look to do this through, say, extreme sports, for instance, will get this adrenal rush on a daily basis and understand how they feel. For myself, from my background, when I, say, went into maybe fighting in a cage fight, you dealt with adrenal build-up for 8 weeks beforehand. So it wasn't just when you stepped in there that you had the effects. You also had different effects of this a long time before. And you need to know how to cope with these, otherwise when the moment of truth comes, you'll want to run. All your instincts will say, I want to disappear, rather than stand and confront it. Now, fight or flight is not a bad thing. There will be situations where you decide to run, and that's great. There'll be other situations where you might not be able to run. Let's say you're going to have to defend your loved ones, or maybe your elderly mother who's not going to be running with you. This is when your back's to the wall. Now, all these feelings will come to a head, and we need to understand exactly what the body is going through. So when adrenaline rushes into the body, it's fueling you for the fight or flight syndrome, which means it's actually your friend. It's not something that you should feel afraid of and wish that you never had. Without this adrenaline, we're going to know no fear. which means you'll walk out across a main road without the fear of being knocked over. Now, we need those instincts. When it comes to fighting, these will be heightened even more because your body feels that it is under serious threat. So, what will we feel? There's many different ways that adrenaline will expose itself in the body. First of all, the major one is that you will feel nauseous. You can feel sick. The reason for this is that the body is now shutting down. The digestive system isn't needed. For fight or flight, we need the large muscles that are going to make us run or to fight back. So all the blood is being pumped to the heart and lungs. So it's going away from the digestive system. This is why we feel this sickness and nausea. You may feel that you want to use the toilet. Again, this is the body getting rid of any waste products because it's no longer needed. Most of the time, if you go along to, say, a fight venue, beforehand, an hour beforehand, the toilets are full of guys using them before they fight because this is their instinct. They don't need anything to fuel them. So all the blood is pumping into the arms and the legs, the extremities. Now you may feel shaking, and this is a build-up of blood coursing through the veins. It's a powerhouse. Adrenaline is fueling a lot of energy. So it's like putting your foot on the accelerator of a car and keeping the handbrake on. You're revving up that energy, but it's not actually going anywhere. So the shaking is natural. The voice becomes high-pitched and quavery. This is because adrenaline is coursing and you're trying to keep a rein on it. Deep breathing will help you control the shakes, will help you control your voice from quavering or even drying up completely. The mouth will be dry, so sometimes again it is difficult to speak. Sweating, the pallor may become white. These are all common things. Now also, we've got to contend with other things that may go against you. Tunnel vision, for instance. So, adrenaline will heighten your awareness, and for a moment your vision can be crystal clear. But then it will begin to target in on what we see as the threat. Now, against more than one opponent, that's a problem for you. Because if you've got 3 or 4 people and you're homing in on one thing, you're not going to see people on the periphery of your vision. So we need to be aware of that. 70% of your peripheral vision will go when you've got tunnel vision. This is why we need to try and step back and keep distance between you and an aggressor. You've got a much better chance of defending yourself if you step away rather than let everything come in. So tunnel vision is like looking through a toilet roll holder. That's about as much vision as you'll see. So somebody pulling a weapon, swinging the punch, you may not see it in time. So distance is crucial when you do these things. Also, when weapons are involved, we can lose what's called depth perception, which means it's the distance between you and somebody in front of you. You may think they're further away than they are. And sometimes they can close the gap rapidly and suddenly they're in there on top of you. Also, the extremities, the blood will move away from the fingers and hands. So sometimes it is difficult to grab effectively. This is why complicated skills in real life combat really only have a small percentage chance of working unless you've invested years and years and years of training in high stress situations. For somebody who wants to learn quick self-defense techniques, they need to be working on gross motor skills. These are basic skills that you can use when your body is under stress. Once your heart rate begins to rise above 145 beats per minute, then the only thing that will be heightened is your gross motor skills. Your complex skills will begin to go out the window. Anything at all that's intricate, you will struggle to deal with. This is why you'll find people repeating the same thing over and over again under pressure, no matter what it may be. So, for learning a system that needs to be used effectively and quickly, we have to contend with adrenaline and the heart rate rising. So, the core of what you're learning must be based around simplistic gross motor skills that will work for you. If you're not prepared to devote 10 or 20 years to training, then we need to be working on those simplistic skills. The higher the heart rate goes up, the more the effects of adrenaline will go against you. Suddenly, the vision will become worse, your hearing becomes impaired. Memory loss as well. We lose great percentage of memory under stress. So you may not be able to remember the incident happening. And it's not until days later that your memory recalls actually what's gone on. And this is vital for you, particularly if you need to explain your actions to somebody immediately after the event. So these things we need to be aware of. If the heart rate reaches 200 beats or more, it literally goes into the freeze syndrome, which means the conscious part of the brain that rationalizes things and thinks it out for you closes down. So now we're reverting back to this hindbrain. This is the prehistoric brain. It was fight or flight, it was survival. And this is what we need to work with, and that's what you will be working with. So you will find, again, those gross motor skills are the only thing you'll be able to come up with under that pressure. So we need to have bags of aggression, bags of intention and attitude to survive under these most extreme conditions. When everything tells you you want to be running away, something inside you must make you step forward. So you need to look at adrenaline as a positive thing, something that you're going to use to fuel you and to direct you to win the situation, rather than feeling it's a weakness in you that you need to run away from. Now, the difference between somebody that can control adrenaline and somebody that can't is that the person that controls adrenaline has got used to living with it. He can accept it, he understands it, and he will use it positively. The person that doesn't understand it suddenly thinks that they're a coward. So, instead of using it positively, they use it negatively. They walk away, they fall into themselves, they freeze, they crouch away from danger. Or if somebody starts striking or attacking them, they literally close down, roll themselves up into a ball and submit. What we're trying to do is to channel the adrenaline so that we will positively go forward. That if we're fighting for our lives and we've only got one shot at it, that we will do everything we can to come forward and attack and finish the situation rather than go the other way. So as I said, there will be times where adrenaline will tell you my best option is to back off. And backing off is different to backing down. It's not the same thing. If you decide you need to escape and to run away, then adrenaline will give you the energy to do that. If, though, you have to hold your ground, adrenaline will also give you the ability to fight back. So by understanding this, we can learn to deal with it. So any situation of aggression, and it doesn't have to be physical, just somebody verbally standing in your face, shouting and bawling at you and threatening you, will trigger adrenaline. And you'll feel it. It will rush around the body and it will start giving you these negative effects. But if you understand what you're going through, if you accept that that person in front of you who's shouting and bawling is also going through the effects of adrenaline, but maybe they're channeling it in a more positive way, this will give you great heart and confidence that you can fight back. So, in closing on this subject, please think positively about the effects of adrenaline. Everybody feels fear. It's how we deal with that fear that's important. By having a physical combat system that you have got 100% confidence in, and that you can use under pressure when emotion is involved, is of prime importance. To have 100 techniques that look great, that can be used in a dojo or training hall, but can't be taken out into a live situation, are 100 techniques too much. I'd rather have 5 techniques that work for me effectively than 55 techniques that will fail in a real life situation. So your training must be adrenaline based, and the system that you learn must be based around dealing with the fear factor and the effects of adrenaline. Alright, so there you have it. Special Forces hands-to-hand training system, covering many different aspects of self-defense, self-protection, using these unarmed skills. We've looked at lots of different elements today. Everything hopefully comes back to the basics that we've kicked off with. Working on the man-stopper as a support system, and then into defensive tactics. But the one thing overall that's important is your approach, your mindset. These techniques are used for survival. They're not fighting techniques, they are combat techniques. totally different thing. So you give it 100% resolution, 100% commitment, and hopefully you'll find if you do need to use these techniques that they'll be there for you. So thanks gentlemen for your help today. Tom, Jay, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again soon.